What's up? What's up? How goes it, everyone? Shout out everyone in the chat. Brandon, of course, Brandon's in the house. What's going on, brother? Cantaloupe, Karsten, A-Rod, Nintendo Nerd, Scout. What's good, Scout? What's up? Sean B. Or Sean G. Card Collector, Cantaloupe. We already said Cantaloupe. I like Cantaloupe though. It's a good fruit. It is a fruit, right? So I know you're wondering, why am I streaming in the middle of the afternoon on Friday? Why didn't I stream last night? I didn't stream last night because I knew I was gonna have to stream this afternoon because my mother is coming into town next week. So I was like, hold on. I hired a cleaning crew, and so they just arrived, and I'm hiding in the basement, of course. So yeah, pretty much. It's like a whole crew of people. I don't want to mess with them. They do a good job. Like, the house is clean. Like, it's not disgusting. Like, I've lived in places that were fucking vile. Like, my first apartment I had was fucking vile, disgusting. But like, this place, I keep it clean because like I own it. But like, you know, like the grime in the bathroom and stuff, I ain't fucking with that. Yeah, Consuela. What's good, Diego, Geronimo, Dennis, Blizmo, Retro Pandemic. Let's talk about Donovan Mitchell. I think, and this is just me talking, I don't think Ainge ever was planning on trading him to the Knicks. I don't think he ever was. I think his whole plan all along was to try to fleece the Knicks and see what he could get out of them and then move whatever he would get out of them. I don't think he ever had any interest. Oh yeah, Jesse, they dude, it's like top-notch stuff. I've used that before. Thank you, Lone Goat. I don't know, like I was laying in bed last night. I was just thinking, like, what am I gonna do for tomorrow? And I just started thinking about all this stuff. I started thinking about Halo Infinite. I started thinking about all these games. I'm like, this is a problem, man. This is a problem. Where's Batman on the Switch? Ask Nate. If it's not at this direct, I've already talked to Nate. I said, Nate, you son of a bitch. Batman for Switch better be at this Nintendo Direct or I will hunt you down. He doesn't live far from me. It wouldn't be too hard to find him, even though I don't know his government name, what he looks like. He should have went to the Knicks, I feel. What's up, Alexander? There's Metal Gear hype in the air. Bro, I'm so ready for the disappointment. I'm so ready for the disappointment. The Game Chasers are in here. What's your opinion on bragging? Only certain people should brag, I feel. You know, bragging can be fine. You should be proud of yourself and what you accomplish, but you got to keep it to a minimum, especially when you're talking around the boys. What up, Speedo? Will they clean the game? No, I tell them not to come down here. Don't come down here. I can handle it. It's honestly, it's extremely clean down here. There are some papers from tax time that I have right there that I just need to whatever, but it's honestly very clean down here. I have I got a little vacuum cleaner, hand vac that I use down here just to get in the cracks and the crevices. And I mean, nobody ever comes down here. Like, this is my domain. You know, the other stuff is for, you know, when I'm entertaining people, like when family comes over or something like that, they get the upstairs. They get the upstairs. They get the first floor. I don't know why they would go to the second floor because that's where like the bedrooms and stuff are. If they want to go up there, that's fine. But down here, this is my piece. Do I think Metal Gear is coming? Metal Gear 4. It would be amazing. It's a shame. That game is so damn good, and it's a shame that it's locked to the PS3. Bro, Ben, there's so much wrestling this weekend. Like, it's crazy how much wrestling there is this weekend. I didn't realize Clash of the Castle was this weekend, NXT was this weekend, and AEW's this weekend. What's up, Elements? Kojima is doing another game. What the hell is the name of it? I don't recall. There's a code name for the game, and it's supposed to be like based on like fucking metadata and shit like that. I don't remember the name of it, but that's what I thought he was going to talk about at Gamescom, and then he was like, "Hey, bitches, I'm doing a podcast." Lord of the Rings show. I saw it pop up. I went on Amazon to buy my Zevia Black Cherries today, and it popped up. They were like, "There's a new show," and I was like, "I don't care. I've never watched these movies. I played the games though. The GameCube ones were fucking bangers back in the day with that local multiplayer. Me and my buddy Rob used to play those all the time. Is there a woman out there you consider a queen? I mean, there's a few queens out there. It's very limited though. How do I feel about Spida? It's a shame, but the more I think about it, and the more you hear from it. Ainge never wanted to trade him to the Knicks. The Knicks were giving him a ton of stuff. Better contracts that they got from Cleveland. You know, it is what it is, though. You can't do too much about it. Well, I do an updated game room tour. I'll probably do one for 2023. I got to figure out some stuff with like actual games. Like I have a stack of stuff over here. There's some stuff. You see? Okay, go. Oh, wait. This is so hard. Okay, right here. This is all like limited run stuff. The Cowabunga collection that came in. So I gotta put that somewhere. Yeah, I mean, we have the Telltale Batman game. So I'm talking about fucking Arkham City. I want to play Arkham City on the go, and I don't want to get a Steam Deck. Diego, you couldn't handle being my editor. No, I mean, I don't really have. I have an editor for some things. He's probably edited like a total of 5 things for me, and none of them have done good on the channel. So I always tell him I'm going to fire him. But most of my shit, you know, it's very just spur of the moment. You know, for the long form content, I'll try to edit them. Sometimes I'll outsource it. How's the Vita coming along? It's good. I haven't bought much recently for it. I don't really buy too many games anymore. It's more of something has to catch my attention, and then if I want it, I buy it. I don't hate the Steam Deck. I love the Steam Deck. I just don't. My thing with the Steam Deck is, and the King of Gape is 8-Bit Eric. The thing about the Steam Deck is, I'm a very impulsive person. So it's kind of like, if I think about something, it's like, oh, I want this. I want to buy this. And if I can't just buy it on Amazon, or I have to sign up for a wait list and all that sort of stuff, I'm like not interested. Like the feeling has passed me by the time you tell me, oh, it's gonna come out in October or something like that. Like, oh, you're gonna get it between October and December. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. And then you look on eBay and it's fucking all over the place in pricing. I'll get one eventually, but it's not a high priority because of the fact that I'm not going to make money on it. Like, even if I do a video, like, I'll have to wait to do a video on it anyways. Like, Steam Deck 1 year later or some bullshit. I thought about doing some retro stream. We might play some Cowabunga collection on this stream. I think everything's set up. I might play some. Who are my top 5 rap artists? I did a fucking video on this channel about my 5 favorite rap albums. I'm going to assume you mean of all time. I'm not saying these are necessarily the best. These are just ones that I will listen to the most. 3 6 Mafia, Big L, Cameron. Duke Deuce is kind of getting in there. Duke Deuce has been getting a lot of rotation in my car lately. And Biggie. What's up, Julio? Hope you're doing good, buddy. I don't understand why I can't play Symphony of the Night on the Switch, because it's Konami. Snoopy with a $1.99 donation. T or A? Right now, the girl that I am talking with, she's doing very well in both, but I think her A is like the whoa kind of moment. Like, yeah. I mean, I'm the type of guy where it's like, if you got big boobs and no ass, like, that's cool. You got no boobs but a big ass, like, that's cool. If you got big boobs and a big ass, like, that's cool. But if you got none, it's like, gotta have something. Gotta have something. Favorite new school rapper is Deuce Duke. Love him. No West Coast artist. I mean, one of my favorite, I would put it in my top 15 albums of all time, is Snoop Dogg, The Dogfather. Not many people talk about that record, but I really love that record. I think it's super underrated, and there's so many good songs on it. Went to Best Buy to get the TMNT collection. GameStop couldn't find my copies pre-ordered. I actually got mine. I ordered it online, and it came in. It wasn't supposed to come in until tomorrow, but it showed up yesterday, so. Right, Brandon, right. For sure, Crystal Ball. Should be a fun weekend. AEW Fight Forever. How do I think it'll do on the Switch? Knowing what I know, and knowing the people that worked on the game, and knowing some of the people involved in AEW, a lot of them really like the Switch. Like, that's how I've connected with a lot of the wrestlers there, because they're like, I watch your stuff on the Switch. And I'm like, that's bizarre. Don't watch me. Watch someone better. But I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. You know, the engine that they're using, the graphical style, it's not super taxing. And neither was WWE 2K18, but it's not like they outsourced the Switch version to a smaller company or something like that. You know, this is being done in-house by the main branch. And THQ, you know, not for nothing, but they've been publishing some really good ports on the Switch lately. Wreckfest, I haven't played it, but I've watched a few videos on it, because I actually picked up Wreckfest on the PlayStation 5 when I got my little steering wheel. That game is super good on the Switch. Like, that port is really damn good. So, you know, THQ can be a little bit hit or miss, but I think they're going to want to, you know, hit the mark with this game. What's my biggest hope for the Twilight Princess Wind Waker combo? That it is a combo. It needs to be a combo. If it is not a combo, I will be furious. If they try to charge me $60 for those fucking games. I haven't seen Max's video on The Last of Us Remake. What did he give it? My guess is a 9. He talked all that shit, but he ended up loving it, so I'm going to say a 9. Do I think Gotham Knights will be trash or surprise us like Guardians did? Oh, man. It's not going to surprise you like Guardians did. Because I knew it! I knew it! Fucking Max. I can always predict him. I think... Yeah, Battlegrounds did run pretty good. I'm getting it both on the Switch to review and the Xbox just in case, you know, the Switch version sucks. But I will review the Switch version. The thing about Guardians was it had great writing. You know, it had a really good story. Gotham is not, I don't think it's relying anything on a damn story. I think Clash of the Castle would be pretty decent. You know, Triple H has been booking some good shit lately. I think it'll be a fun show. Knicks didn't make the trade for Donovan. What do you think we do now? I mean, Julius is still talked about because I really feel like they want to start Obi. And you could ship off Julius. The problem is, if you ship off Julius, you're shipping off Julius and Fournier to the Lakers to get Russell Westbrook and then buy out his contract. And then just be like, okay, go do whatever. So you're really putting the emphasis on the youth, which is fine. A lot of people want that. A lot of people want to see that because, you know, that's what we're pretty much banking on now. The problem with that is you have Tibbs. And Tibbs is he likes his veterans. I don't know if you've noticed that. Alec Burks playing 37 minutes at a point guard position. When you have Deuce McBride on the bench, you could play point guard position. You're not competing for the playoffs. He said it's worth the price when they gave it a 9. I mean, that's, you know, that's reasonable. It's still a good game. I have no interest in buying it. I can't buy it. Like, I just do not care. I could watch it. The thing of it is that game is based on story. And I already know the story. They didn't change anything with the story. It's the exact same story. So it's like, you know, is there enough there beyond it to make me want to play it again? For me personally, no. And I know you're saying, well, would you play Twilight Princess and Wind Waker? Yes, I would. Because I love Twilight Princess. I love Wind Waker. I didn't love The Last of Us Part 1 or Last of Us 1. I liked it. I liked it a lot, but I didn't love it. It's not worth it for me. If I want to play that game again, I'll play the PS4 remastered edition. That's good enough for me. You know, tomato. Dude, Silent Hill Shattered Memories would be awesome on the Switch. And they can make it work because it also came out on the PlayStation 2 with no motion controls. I love that game. It's such a psychological game. And there's a ton of different endings, too. Wind Waker and Twilight Princess better be fucking $60. Maybe $70. But I don't think Nintendo's ready to take that plunge. You know he would bring back Joakim Noah. You know it. Yeah, same, Joseph. It definitely has that Day of Reckoning, No Mercy feel to it. Which really, Day of Reckoning was kind of the continuation of No Mercy. but it's got an updated roster. And I think that's all anyone really wanted. They just wanted to play as the modern guys in it. Thank you, Angel. Last of Us Part 1 is a perfect Black Friday pickup. You're not wrong. 30, 40 bucks? Okay. Yeah, you had the compilation. I'm not going to grab it, but I can see it. It's right over there. Where you had all the Zelda games on there. It was great. What's up, Blue EX? Remake Chinatown Wars on the Switch. Dude, I would love that. Oh, they did confirm Brody Lee? Thank God. I didn't know how that was going to go, but that'll be really cool. I really just want to beat up CM Punk with a bunch of different people because I feel like this whole CM Punk Jon Moxley thing that we're seeing on television, I really feel like there's some truth behind that. Like, Punk is a very take my ball and run home with it sort of person, you know, to his detriment. And when I look at Punk and when I look at Moxley, I want to root for Moxley. Moxley is the dude who busts his ass and he loves wrestling. He never stepped away from wrestling, even though they had him doing the most bizarre, stupid shit towards the end of his run in WWE. He stuck it out. You know, he trusted the process. Joshua Avila with a dono. Good job, my dude. You're my favorite channel on here. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate you, brother. My favorite Metal Gear Solid game? 3. 3 is the GOAT. Jordan Fringe has a birthday. Let's get some happy birthday chants in the chat for Jordan. What's up, dog man? Am I getting either of the Pokemon games? Asked Graham. Yes, I'm getting Scarlet. I'm actually kind of interested to see how that comes out. I've seen that Lego Brawls, I was actually supposed to do like a sponsored video with them, and then they disappeared. And then I saw Wood did a sponsored video with them. I was like, oh, I guess they picked the pretty boy over me. What's up, Shaman? Yesterday, today, it's your week birthday. It's your birthday week. So as far as AEW kind of cooling off, I think it's more so just kind of settling in, you know, like at some point there's going to be like the honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase is essentially over for a lot of people. So now they're a lot more critical of it. But one thing I find, like pro wrestling fans, it's weird. Fandoms are the most bizarre thing. Pro wrestling fans, video game fans, and basketball fans. Like, that's who I follow. That's who I fuck with because that's the stuff I'm into. They're the most toxic fan bases in the world. You need to do this. Why didn't you do this? Oh, he did this? Like, people want AEW to say, oh, there's too many people on the roster. They let Bobby Fish go. What the hell, Bobby Fish? Why do you let Bobby Fish go? I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah, I mean, I like Punk. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Punk. But if you give me Punk versus Moxley, I'm choosing Moxley. Baja Blast. Oh, dude, Baja Blast Arrow is so good. I can't believe they don't sell that shit in stores. Like, I literally have to get Taco Bell to get my Baja Blast. Metal. Yeah, metal fans are. It's because of all the genres. Like that Polyphia song that came out today. I can't wait to see what the metal community thinks of it. I don't like the song. I get what they're going for with the song, but it's not for me. Star Wars. Oh yeah. Star Wars fans. You got the original trilogies. You got the middle trilogy. You got the new trilogy. The new trilogy's too woke. Now they're retconning the old trilogy. They're retconning all these characters. I do think retconning is really stupid though. Just make new characters. Well, that's the thing. All of a sudden now, you're hearing all these names. You know, Malachi Black. Oh, he's not happy. A few weeks ago, it was Miro. He's not happy. It's like, come on, man. What's up, V-Sips? They do sell Baja Blast in stores? Jesus Christ. The addiction. Angel, I kind of agree with you on that. But at the same time, it's like, who do you use? Who do you do? Really, to me, like MJF is a good candidate. Eddie Kingston, just because I'm a mark for him. But it's kind of tough. Polyphia is dope, but I like their older stuff. Not like the metalcore stuff, but like the middle ground stuff. Before they went all like Crush. The song Crush by Polyphia, it's got the right blend of their styles for me. Like it's still got a little, you know, a little edge to it, but it's just like mellow, chill, like subconscious, see the world through your third eye kind of shit. Oh, okay. Okay. Saludos, Mario. Poppin' weekend for wrestling. Hard hitting New Britain. Let's go. Let's go. Crush is a good. Nothing Face. I really liked Nothing Face. They were a very new metal band, but what's that? Not their popular song. The I know everyone, I know everywhere, 'cause I'm everybody. You can't just sell control, you can't just sell you freedom. Like, that's a cool song, but the I'm not all right, but I'm okay song. Like, I thought that was a really good song. Like, just the changes in tones throughout it was really cool. Think you have any unclaimed kids out there? Nah, I don't think so. There was one that was a little sus, but she said, no, it's not yours. I said, okay. Am I kidding? Am I serious? You'll never know. Although people, I remember a couple, like a year or so ago, people were making videos that I was a deadbeat dad and that I had kids out there. I'm like, this is fucking news to me, you weirdos. My favorite Metroid game? I gotta go with Prime. The game I play the most was Metroid Prime Hunters. How long am I streaming for? Probably like 2 hours. Probably to like 5 because they'll be here for a while. Yes, Murder's Masturbation. Yep, that's the song. Love that song. Such a good song. Robbie Roxas in the house. What's going on, man? Happy Friday. Ever heard of a Mongolian metal group called The Hue? They're a very fun addiction and came out with a new album today. Have a good weekend. No, but I will check them out, Robbie. And thank you for being a channel member and generous donations. You're awesome. Spite is dope. Live Alive is very good. Very, very good. A really good title. Not the longest game in the world, but I love the segmented stories. I think they're so cool. Should I smoke the joint now or closer to the end? I mean, it depends. Is it going to put you into sleep? If it puts you to sleep, I would do it towards the end. I would love the Warriors and Manhunt. Dude, the Warriors was such a good game. And it's so under the radar. Even though it was a Rockstar game and it did okay, it's so under the radar. Archspire, is that the dude with the bald head who has a YouTube channel? And he does stuff with his wife who plays guitar, and like they do like the 4 levels of stuff. If so, their music is a little much for me, but I listen to it. Like, I've listened to Archspire before. I think the guitarist's name is Dean. He has a bald head and a mustache. It's a little too all over the place for me sometimes, but I can still groove to it. Could never smoke to sleep. Feels like a waste. I had a buddy. That was why that's what he used to go to sleep. And then cops kicked in our door and put an AR to my head at 6:30 in the morning. That's a fun story. I'll tell that one day. I'm sure I've actually told it before, though. But, you know, people say, it seems someone in the comments, people either say he's making up these stories or he's told this story before. Which one is it? I don't think I'd be able to recall the details of all these stories perfectly every time I tell them if that was the case. And if I made them up, I should be writing a fucking book. Jesus. Bro, they kicked in the door over a registered firearm and personal use. And I mean, they beat that fucking door in. And the best part was, guess who decided to sleep on the couch that night? Because you see this futon back here? This is what I used to use as a bed, because I lived with a bunch of friends in a house, and I was like, well, I want a couch in my room, so that way when I have chicks over, I can watch movies with them and stuff in my room. And I had a CRT, and I had a flat screen. That I still have that flat screen, actually. It wasn't really a flat. I mean, it was kind of a flat screen. And so I got a futon as my bed and couch, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. I want to watch a movie, bam, flip it up, play my video games, bam, put it down. but it fucked up my back, and I used it for years too. And that night I decided to sleep on the couch. So I was the first target that they found. That was fucking great. I did write, it's true. I should write a book about stories of fabrications. Go Netflix and chill. I will tell you the best Netflix and chill story ever. It's a very short story. So I'd been seeing this girl for a while. Gorgeous girl. This girl was gorgeous. I did not know about her demons until after the fact. She had a lot of demons. Like, she used to, like, and I know you're just saying, she didn't model. She modeled. Like, wasn't a huge model or anything like that, but a lot of local businesses used to use her as a model. Gorgeous girl. Now, she's literally like 350 pounds because she got off heroin. I didn't know she was on heroin at the time when I was hanging out with her. But anyways, so I'm living at this house with a couple buddies, and they're all sitting in the living room smoking pot with their girlfriends, and there's a couple more people over. And I didn't smoke at that time. That was after I was smoking or whatever. And I was like, it might have goddamn been, Andy. It might have goddamn been, because that sounds very familiar. Anyways, so she came over, and I'm wearing an, because this, you know, I was like 25, 26 or something like that. I'm wearing a NES shirt. It's got a cartridge on it, and it says, blow me. I had never, we had made out and stuff, but we had never done anything beyond that. And I was always trying to, and she was always just shutting it down. I was like, all right, whatever. So she came over. I was like, all right, we're going to go in my room and hang out. Y'all do whatever here. I'm like, all right, cool. And they were like, all right, cool. So we're in there watching a movie. I swear to God, all of a sudden, she just starts sucking my dick. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And it was fantastic. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on here? So like, she finishes up. We finish the movie, she leaves, and I walk her out to the door, and everyone's just like sitting in the living room stoned. We had this couch. It was like one of those big couches that had like, you know, it was like a wraparound couch. And I go out, and so I walk her out, I close the door, and I look at them, and I'm like, boys, the shirt worked, boys! And I just went back into my room. It was the funniest shit. It was the funniest shit, man. I don't know why she did, but she did. John is a very sheltered individual. Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. And everyone was like, no way. And I was like, dude, I swear to God. Like, I swear to God. It was funny. We had a part. I actually kicked her in the face once, accidentally. Thank you, Morgan. It was a great story. The shirt was an NES cartridge, and it said "blow me" on it. Yeah, you're probably right, Axiom. We were having a party at the house. I don't know if it was my birthday or what. It might have been. And she was sitting on the couch. There was probably like 50 people there. Like, we used to have the cops called on us all the time for parties. And Mississippi Queen came on for some reason. I don't know why, because everyone was listening to rap music. But Mississippi Queen came on. And for some reason, I just got so hyped. And I was like, Mississippi Queen! And I did a jump and a front flip into the couch. And my leg, I guess, just kind of went out. And it was just like, whoa, boom. And like, her nose got like bloody and shit. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. What up, Hustle and Motivate? Appreciate you, brother. 2 butts in the RGT Army. Let's go. Phil, you tried to get me in trouble. Oh, no, that was Jim Ryan that tried to get me in trouble. Dude, it was like the Shenmue kick. Like where Ryo learns the Shenmue front kick. She's good now, though. I talked to her semi-recently. Like I said, you know, she gained a lot of weight, but in some respects, she's probably healthier now that she's clean. And she had a kid, too. Her kid's doing well. I really don't talk to too many people from back in the day, though. Like, sometimes I'll look them up just to see how they're doing. But for the most part, you know, that's a time of my life where it's just like, you know, kind of a new chapter now. Like, I needed to get away from there to some degree, because you never know. It was funny. A lot of good times, a lot of good memories. But I've definitely sort of calmed down. Have I seen the small game Inside on the Switch? I have not. Whenever I think of Bad Omens, I think of that Tommy Vexed guy. How many games do I have on the shelf? Jesus Christ. I have no idea. Because there's another shelf over here. This is all the Nintendo stuff. So it goes NES, Super NES, N64, GameCube, Wii U, and then Switch stuff. And then this, oh, there's more Nintendo over here. So top shelf, there's boxed Game Boy games and boxed Virtual Boy, DS, 3DS, and then we get into the Sega stuff. So there's a lot, man. Nice. Appreciate you, Shaw, man. Yeah, I think it was called Camp Hope. That's funny. That is fucking funny. God, that was... I still haven't told the story about when we won. Maybe one day. Did I ever get the analog pocket? Asks Brandon the man. I did. Our stupid British friend, MBG, bought one, but he ended up getting a review unit. So I bought it off of him at the cost that he paid. And it came with like everything too. You know, I think the Knicks will be okay. I don't think they're done wheeling and dealing yet. I still think there's going to be something else. Do I have any TurboGrafx games? I do. Well, they're mostly PC Engine because I actually don't own an original TurboGrafx. One of the few systems I don't own, but I own a PC Engine and the PC Engine CD. I have the briefcase thing. So I have a lot of Hue cards that are PC Engine and then some disc-based games too. Thank you, Shaw, man. Yeah, that's why I don't really like promote it all that much. Like, kind of like a tip jar. You want to do something cool? If not, that's awesome. Have I ever seen the movie The Room? I don't think I have. Yes, this is Cool Mint. I just picked up another one today, actually. APE in the house. What's going on, brother? Ishwiz. I mean, I still do them. Are you one of those YouTubers? That's a good question. I like this. Am I one of those YouTubers that does shady reselling? If not, how come? I can make, okay. Do I think it's shady? Not necessarily. But the one thing I find funny about it is 5-6 years ago, if these channels that came along, and I'm friends with these channels, I know these people, this isn't a slight at them or anything. If you came along 5 or 6 years ago, no matter who you were, and you made a channel all about reselling games, buying them for cheap, and then showing how much you get for it and doing all this shit, you would be crucified. But now all of a sudden it's just like commonplace. And I'm glad it's like that. I'm glad it's like that personally. But I just think it's so funny. Like, I have no reason to sell stuff. If I need money, I'll sell stuff, you know, but I'm not in a position where it's like, oh, fuck, I need to get some McDonald's. I better sell this game. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, no, maybe I'll trade some stuff if there's something I really want, but there's really nothing I really want anymore. How did you like the Sakurai game collection? I assume you're not, are you talking about the Sakurai's YouTube channel or the Sakurai? Because there's a video games franchise called Sakurai. And thank you, Axiom, for the dono. You'll have to clarify for me. When's the September Direct? I believe it's going to be, I'm gonna go on record. I shouldn't go on record. I will say, Ava, yeah, it's fucking legit, dude. I will say that the Direct, shit, let me pull up the little calendar here. 14th. I'm saying the 14th. Can I still touch the rim? Hell no. His Twitter, he put up, oh, I'll have to check that out. I seen where Sakurai put the consoles and everyone was freaking out because he laid his Switch down. I thought that was pretty funny. Dude, Xavier's legit. Why don't I do unboxing videos? Because honestly, I buy a lot of crap and I leave it sealed. Case in point. Here's some examples right here. I have 3 games that I own digitally that are sealed. I have the House of the Dead Limited Edition. I didn't want to open it, even though I get the cool stuff in there. It's just good that I know I have it. Double Dragon 4 sealed from Limited Run, and Double Dragon Neon sealed from Limited Run. The Cowabunga collection, haven't opened it. The Castlevania Anniversary collection that I paid $100 and God knows how many dollars, haven't opened it. Oh, Owen Hart's. Oh, dude, that's right, Andy. I forgot, dude. That's gonna be sick. That's gonna be sick. Worst botch in WWE history, in my opinion. I mean, clearly it's when McMahon broke both of his hamstrings, or tear both of his ACLs. I should do pickup videos, maybe a monthly pickup video. I might. I really don't. Some months I'll buy a bunch of stuff, and then some months I won't. Like these games I've had on my kitchen table for a very long time, and I was like, okay, let me bring them downstairs so I could catalog them on the shelf. Fight Forever should be coming out this year. Yes. Most original vintage toy you have. Probably I have 2 sealed Hasbro WWF figures. I have a Bret Hart, which is an interesting one. I'll tell you about it in a second. And I have a Hulk Hogan one. The funny thing about those is my mom found them at a flea market for $5 a piece in Florida. And she was like, I bought these for you. Do you want them? I was like, yes. Yes, I do. So I ended up getting those. And then I remember I posted on Instagram when I first got that Bret Hart figure, because I was excited. I was like, this is fucking cool. It's a variant too. The text is in French. I was like, oh, this is cool. Some jerk ass goes on my post and is like, these aren't rare. This isn't worth any money. I have 20 boxes of these in my basement. And I was like, you don't. He's like, no, I have tons of these in my basement. It's not worth anything. It's worth money. You look it up and see what they're selling for. It's selling for 3 figures. Suck my dick, you fucking wanker. Did I review the Pocket? How do I like it? I don't think I did a full review of it, but I do like it a lot. Funnily enough, I play a lot of Game Gear on it. I think it's a fucking great way to play Game Gear because the screen on it is so good. MBG got the Game Gear adapter with his, so it came over to me, and I love playing Game Gear on it. And I have a lot of Game Gear games. This kid came into the GameStop like 15 years ago, and actually longer, probably 17 years ago when I was working, and he had this grocery bag, and he was like, I want to sell this stuff. I'm like, all right. So I'm looking at it. It was a fucking Game Gear and like tons of games. I was like, dude, we don't take this here. He's like, but I need money for it. I was like, we don't take these games. And he was like, well, my brother told me to sell these games for him, and I came down here and I need to sell them. I need to get some cash. I was like, meet me outside. So I went outside. I was like, I told the other person who was working with me, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna step outside for a second. So I go outside. I'm like, what do you want for this? He's like, $25. I was like, sold. Here you go. Thank you. Have a great day. And I've kept those Game Gear games ever since then. So do I have any of the old rubber wrestlers? I do. The ones or you talking about the LJN ones or the ones you stick your thumb up? No Joey Janela and no GMO. I'm going to keep it real. And this is just old man talking. No GMO doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because I was the kid who would take his WCW No Mercy. I would write out the card on a piece of paper. Like my first match would be La Parka versus Juventud Guerrera. And then we would play that match and then we would go to the next match. So that's not a big deal for me. But I can see it being a big deal for people. My heart is broken about Donovan Mitchell. I mean, but it's okay. We'll be all right. Did the Lynx adapter come out for you? I don't think so. Dude, there's Decepticon. There's so many awesome games on there. And a lot of them are actually Master System games. Like, okay, here we go. Take this game, for instance. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park only came out on the Master System in Europe because of the fact that Nintendo had a stronghold on all third-party stuff with the NES. So a lot of games only came out in Europe, but thankfully the system is region-free. But the thing of it is that the Master System games are pretty much identical to the Game Gear version. So like Jurassic Park on the Game Gear is like super good, but like nobody ever really talks about it. Where did Michael Jordan go without Phil Jackson? He would have been fine. I think Phil Jackson gets a little too much credit sometimes because of what he did to the fucking Knicks. Do I think am I gonna get? Yes, I did, Pro Joe. Am I picking up the MVC2 cabinet? Maybe. If I could sell my original one, yes. The main event would always be like Sting versus like an NWO member, or like Diamond Dallas Page versus an NWO member. Do I own Scarface on the PS2? I own it on the Wii and the Xbox. Okay, Mortal Kombat 2 on the Game Gear was a banger. I will fight anyone on that. Mortal Kombat 1, not so much. Cleaned up the Nick. Come on. Come on. Come on. We'll be talking about the Knicks when it happens, or when the Knicks start playing again in late October. I'm not gonna ban you. I don't ban people here unless they're like just fucking pieces of shit. He's not getting banned. Dude, DDP and Savage was fucking awesome. Because Savage was willing to build a star. And not a lot of guys in that position were. Hogan. Do I have Code of Princess on the Switch? No, I had it on the 3DS though. Code of Princess EX or whatever I think it was. But see, Tournament Edition is not too bad on the GameCube. How did I wind up becoming an awesome YouTube guy? Like after working at GameStop years ago. Love your videos and this live stream. So, oh god damn, it did sell out. OJ gets a little trigger happy sometimes. So I was actually a pharmacy technician for most of my life. I was working at Nintendo Enthusiast as like a writer at that time before I was editor-in-chief, and I noticed I had a YouTube channel and I had like a couple thousand subscribers, like 3,000 or something. And I was like, I want this channel. I was like, I want to make content on here. And they're like, do you know how to make videos? I'm like, no, I'll buy some stuff. I bought a $50 480p webcam. I had Windows Movie Maker as my editing software and a lamp. That's how I learned how to YouTube. And then I ended up getting a side channel because I wanted to do other stuff beyond just talking about Nintendo. And then the side channel ended up taking off, and I made a calculated decision after I saved some good money up, and it ended up being the right decision. Hogan tried to build Horse. Horse was his nephew. Nice, Fenner. 3 eyes. Hey, if you read this, you should do DMT, LSD, and I can't even say that other word. It's life-changing. We're all in the same consciousness, creating reality through the mind. I mean, hey. What's up, Zen Gamer? Nice, G Jerry. I should do a sports channel. I've thought about it. Yep, I'll be getting Splatoon 3 next week. I'm actually really looking forward to that game. No, I think if they do Zelda stuff this year, it's going to be Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. And it kind of makes sense. Because then you have most of the games. I won't say all of them, because obviously you don't have the DS ones. You don't have the 3DS one. You don't have the Game Boy ones. But all the console ones, I think. Yeah. Because you got the NES and Super NES and then 64 on the online service. So at least that way they can be like, all the console games are here. What controller am I playing Cowabunga Collection? I'm just using the, I'm playing it in handheld mode, so I primarily use my Pro controller. Yeah, I have plenty of games. Free Mortal Kombat 4. You know, I never really loved that game, but I never hated it. I don't think I played it enough to have nostalgia. The Axiom, I've never cried at a video game. And people say that's bullshit. It's not bullshit. I've never cried at a video game. The only time I ever got teary-eyed during a movie was this fucking movie called, was it Sweet November? I think it was called. Let me Google it real quick. Yes, movie Sweet November, because the fucking woman, Charlize Theron, did Keanu Reeves dirty at the end of the movie. And it broke my heart, and it made me realize that some women are evil. What's up, Brandon? Will I ever mod my Switch? If it was easier, I would. That's fine, console fanboy. It's your opinion. I loved the game, but for you, it wasn't your cup of tea. There's nothing wrong with that. well, if a movie, see, like you know what's going into a movie like that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Marley and me wonder what's gonna happen to the dog. It's like, okay, like I'm anticipating it now, so it won't hit me quite as hard. But like Sweet November, it just kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, El Grug, what are you going to yell at Evil Uno's friend Jeff Grubb on the Spawncast tomorrow? I will always yell at Jeff Grubb. If you watch my video from 2 days ago, I used a picture of Jeff Grubb, and I was looking through the effects because I wanted to make like a weird effect at the end. And I noticed there was like a scrolling text that I could do, and I was like, oh, let me put Hail Satan on it. Like, I don't know, it made me laugh. So I feel like if it made me laugh, it might make someone else laugh. And if it doesn't make someone else laugh, at least I laughed. What up, Black Dark Smoke? Oh yeah, she is hot as fuck. Mortal Kombat Deception arcade mode. Do I think the Oculus is the future of gaming and eventually everything will be that immersive? Nah. You're always going to have people who want to just sit back on the couch with a controller and a beer, you know, and a pizza and play with you. You can't really play in the same room as the same people with things like VR. And I feel like the technology still isn't there yet. It'll always be a nice alternative, and it can make for some really fun experiences like Resident Evil 4 VR, you know, freshen up older games, but I don't ever think it'll be a standard. Did I watch any of the classic TMNT episodes to get ready for the Cowabunga collection? I mean, I might have bought the DVD collection off Amazon. It was like $30. I was like, fuck. Because you can't, there's no streaming service had it. I wanted to watch them, and I was like, well, let me just buy this DVD collection. Twilight HD was good because they did some quality of life improvements. They made like the thing at the start of the game where you got to get the little orbs shorter. Like it was like half the amount you had to get. So I liked that. There was a lot of little things with that game. I think Twilight Princess, I think it's almost, it's not as good as Ocarina of Time, but to me, it's damn close. I love the scale of the world in that game. I love the dungeons. I love the characters. The writing was pretty good. I think that game is very sort of under the radar. Derek, are you talking about online? Online does seem kind of wonky. I didn't get a chance to play the online before I did my video. I've noticed if you play like with like one other person, two other people online, like it's okay. But like when it goes to 4 people, like everything just goes to shit sometimes. Mets. Meet the Mets. Greet the Mets. The whole online co-op thing is so stupid to me because the thing that pisses me off about it is John Swanwave convinced me to play the single player campaign. And he was like, well, we'll play it together. I was like, okay. And then Nate joined. And I was like, oh, we'll all play it together. I was like, okay. So you got that beta. But the beta doesn't have the achievements, and they're both achievement whores. I could care less about it. And they're like, well, we're not going to play it until we can get achievements on it. So now I have to wait even longer. Like, it's stupid. Fortitude King. Fuck, marry, kill. Brandy Rhodes, Stephanie McMahon, or Maurice. Oof. Okay. I could do this. V-Sips, I'll answer that in a second. We're gonna marry Stephanie McMahon. You married the money. You don't marry no broke chick. Stephanie McMahon got the money. I'm gonna have to kill Maurice and fuck Brandy Rhodes. Because although I mean they're both very attractive, you have to question Maurice's standard of men. You know what I'm saying? Like Cody Rhodes, okay, I can understand why. Like, that's fucking Cody Rhodes, you know. His dad was Dusty Rhodes. The Miz? You're gonna marry The Miz? It's a little questionable to me. Wind Waker compared to Twilight Princess. So, Wind Waker, to me, I was the guy. I was the kid. I was the one who was like, look at these graphics. Look lame. These graphics are lame. These graphics look like the G word. And so, but then when I actually played it, I loved it. And I still love it. I never really was a huge fan of the boat stuff, though. And that kind of took me out of the game a little bit. But I definitely love the game, and I think the game has held up very well, too. I would love another Subway Series World Series. That would be awesome. I did tell them to vacuum the steps. They usually do that as the last thing, so I know they're leaving. Thank you, Adam B. I appreciate you. I know we heard about the Baja Blast. I need to get my hands on it. Sup, Killama? Wind Waker would look stupid good on the OLED. Georgie! Here we go. Here we go. Georgie spitting the facts. Gears 5 took 3 years. Full campaign, multiplayer, Horde, Forge, local, and online co-op. Forza Horizon 5 took 3 years. Open World, Forge, Battle Royale, online. Hate 343. Good video today. RGT. Or Sean. I mean, it's the facts. That's the problem. And MVG shared a picture with me yesterday where in 2011, Phil was like, Halo is the most important thing. There's no Halo. There's no Xbox without Halo. And then in 2021, he's like, Halo, it's not that big of a deal. You know, it's just Halo. It's not that big of a deal. Dude, there's so many initials for games nowadays. I was like, Far Cry 5? I was like, no, that's FC. No, you're right, Killama. But, okay, let's take that for example. N64 to GameCube, massive jump. GameCube to Wii, no jump. PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2, massive jump. PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3, massive jump. PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, you start to get into the law of diminishing returns, still a jump. PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, I don't know. Think about it this way. Name me a game for the PlayStation 5 that you could not see running on the PlayStation 4. Gotta Be Legend! Knicks Fan TV in the building. What's good, Gotta Be Legend? How are you feeling about Donovan? I saw CP talk to Fat Joe about it. I was like, finally, I need to know what Fat Joe thinks. Graphics, yeah. Somebody said a good question. My most prized possession in my game collection, if I ever went broke and everything went to shit, and I don't know, I guess I got a drug addiction or something because I need money, I would sell everything except for Panzer Dragoon Saga for the Saturn because a fan gave me that. And like, that just blows my mind. Milton Chen, shout outs to Milton, who I've met at a couple conventions, but like, just so generous. Like, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, dude, are you like, I remember, there's an unboxing of it on my channel and I was just blown the fuck away. He sent me that in Dragon Force and he was like, oh, you know, you had talked about in a video that you'd probably never own these. And I literally just had him sitting in a closet there. So I was just like, whatever. I was like, are you sure, man? I'll never want to grade anything. Fortitude King, the little salt in the wound. How does it feel being a Knicks fan after yesterday? You know, part of me hates it, but part of me is kind of happy because I don't want Obi to leave. I don't want RJ to leave. And it seems like those two were big components of this trade. My ideal trade would have been something like Fournier, who has an expiring contract anyways. Fournier on his expiring contract. Grimes, because you want a stud, and Grimes is great, but he's not going to see much rotation or play in this rotation, and then a bunch of picks. That to me was the ideal deal because you're covering all your bases. You got you have Fournier for 2 years, and then the final year is an option, so you'd be fine. You have Grimes, who's a young player who fits into this mindset of a rebuild. You still need some established people, and then you got the draft picks you want. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Gotta Be Legend. Even The Last of Us 2 can run on the PS4. Look at what will happen when it comes to the PC. Ask yourself, what is the minimum GPU spec? Check the tweet I tagged you in. You're right, dude. Oh, you meant the remake. Well, you're right about both of them. You can't tell me that The Last of Us 2 wouldn't. Well, it did run on the PS4. You mean okay. God almighty. See, that's the problem with The Last of Us. You release it on PlayStation 3, then you remaster it for the PlayStation 4, then you do The Last of Us Part 2 for the PlayStation 4 towards the end of the system's life cycle, and then you're like, you know what? Let's make a Last of Us 1 remake of the remake of PS1 versus the PS5. But no, you're 100% right. It's even in the marketing leading up to this game for The Last of Us Part 1 was based on the fact that we've added in stuff from The Last of Us Part 2. It's like the PlayStation 4 game? I'm just saying. At least Xbox was honest about it. They were like, hey, all of our games are going to run on all systems for the foreseeable future. Jim Ryan came out there and was like, oh, only through the power of the PlayStation 5 can you have this. It's like, what'd you get? Demon Souls, which is a PS3 game. Ratchet and Clank. Beautiful looking game. It's crazy. Xenoblade 3 remake. Yeah, I got my timeline confused. The Last of Us originally came out on the PlayStation 3. That's where I played it. Then we got The Last of Us 2. Oh, then we got the remaster. And then we got The Last of Us 2. And now we have the remaster of The Last of Us 1. Oh, Returnal, yes. But do you think Returnal could have been a PlayStation 4 game? Okay, the glasses, and you're right. A lot of it is quality of life improvements, which is fine. But don't act like this couldn't have been done on the system. Gotta be Legend with another donation. Appreciate you, brother. Nick's Fan TV mod, just like me in the building. Last of Us Remake can run on the PS4. It will run on a minimum GTX 1080, so ask yourself, why didn't Sony put it on the PlayStation 4? It's because you can't sell the same game twice on the same console. Class action. It's facts. It's facts. Yeah. See, I mean, the whole thing about it is this generation has really been quality of life improvements, and that's fine. But a lot of the marketing behind it just feels very blah. And if the games were complete games on day one, and, worth the money, I don't think anyone would care. No one would complain. I mean, well, I shouldn't say no one will complain, because there's always going to be people that will complain. Well, The Last of Us on PS3 should look like crap. We should be talking about The Last of Us 4 from the PlayStation 4. That's a 2-generation thing. But that's not to say that a lot of PlayStation 3 games don't still look great. Metal Gear Solid 4 looks fucking phenomenal. I remember that my girl bought me the original Last of Us on PlayStation 3 as a Valentine's gift. That was a game that I rushed out to buy on day one because there was so much hype around it. And like I said, I liked the game, but I didn't love it. How many complete games have released on the new gen of systems? You could probably count them on a hand. I mean, Returnal was pretty complete. I'd say Returnal was pretty complete. Ratchet and Clank, I was pretty satisfied with Ratchet and Clank. I got my 20 hours into it. There's some extra crap you could do in the game. But I think the problem... Ooh, Morpheus. Not story-wise. I think the problem... Gotta be Legend! Welcome to the RGT Army. Appreciate you, brother. The problem for me is... What the fuck was I talking about? I lost my train of thought. Hold on, let me see here. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. I almost want to like rewind so I can catch my train of thought again. Oh. No, it wasn't. Complete games on new systems. Okay, yes, you're right, Ram. The problem is, we shouldn't be having this conversation. We shouldn't be having a conversation of, is this game going to be a complete game when it comes out? If it's a free-to-play game, if it's a heavily discounted game, cool. We can have that conversation. I shouldn't be having this conversation about mainline video games and established franchises. The fact that we even have to worry about this, the fact that this is even a concern, is a problem. Christopher Hernandez, Spyro versus Crash, which is the better of the two? If you look at it, distracted by the gaping, not wrong. They have very similar trajectories. The first few games were really good. Everything sort of went to shit in the middle, and then they both had remakes and a resurgence. Jordan, of course, is going to say Spyro. I would say, I live in the Northeast now. Honor your system. MSG, baby. MSG. It's the reason I have cable. I would say I like Crash a little better. That's just me personally, though. You can flip a coin and it would go either way. And you know, Randy, I love Crash Team Racing on the Switch. One of my favorite games of all time. Exactly, Legend. Like, it doesn't... Jim Ryan just talks out his ass. And I'll never forget, you can only have these experiences through the power of the PlayStation 5. And then literally, God of War, Horizon, multi-platform games. Miles Morales, multi-platform game. What's good, Harlem Boy Gaming? 139 in Lennox. It's Danger Zone. The only reason anyone has cable. I have cable for my pro wrestling, for my AEW and my WWE, and my Knicks. That's all I need it for. It's worth it to me. Croc. I have Croc on the Saturn. It's not bad. I hear talking upstairs. I remember Honor Your System. I went to a Yankees game when I was a little kid with my dad, and it was bat day. And so, like, it wasn't a full-size bat, but it was a pretty big bat that they gave you. And, like, at some point in the game, I don't remember what inning it was, they were like, everyone, hold up your bat for bat day. And I was like, all right, cool. So, like, I held up my bat, and it was, like, too heavy, and I started losing it. And, like, it slipped out of my hand. And, like, my dad caught it, but it still hit this lady in front of us. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. My son's an idiot. I mean, see, with baseball, to me, it's not really a diehard thing. I want to see success for both teams. If I had to pick a team, I like the Mets a little bit better. It's kind of like football. I go with the Giants. Why? I don't know. I like the Giants. You know, LT, Phil Simms. LT, the greatest defensive player of all time. So it's more of just like a nostalgia thing for me, I think. Bat day back in 98. It was, I want to say this had to be, I was only like 6 or 7. So it had to be like early 90s, like 91, 92 maybe. We'll get our day. Blue will get our day. Nobody has won an MVP as a defensive player since LT. And like LT is just, I mean, he's legend. You watch his highlight tape. It's almost like a snuff film. Just classic, man. Never apologize for that honor. We got a lot of New Yorkers in here. I'm liking this. Harlem Boy, Honor Your System, gotta be legend. Do I think the Cavs will make the playoffs? Yeah. If they don't make the playoffs, then they got some issues. Because they have a very good team. Like, Jared Allen is one of my favorite centers in the league. I love Jared Allen. Love Jared Allen. I thought it was stupid because I was watching some Brooklyn stuff when they were kind of on the rise, when they had like Atkinson as the coach. And I love that team that they had put together. You know, Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, D'Angelo Russell. I thought it was a really fun team, and then they blew it up. LT was coke raging. Let's be fucking real. LT, Dwight Gooden, and Darryl Strawberry, and Tyson. There's your 4 fucking legends. Legends of Coke. I think the Zelda Emphasized Direct will be on the, what did I say, the 14th? Yeah, God of War Ragnarok's a day one. Yes, the 14th is my prediction for that Direct. Mount Rushmore of Coke. Not fucking wrong. 80s Coke was different, though. It was different. You know, it was a little more... None of them dudes are dead. Different quality. I'm happy that the Knicks re-upped Barrett. I was very happy that they re-upped him because, you know, he's an integral part. I think he's one of the most exciting players. And the thing about Barrett that I like is he wants to be there. You know, he wants to be there. And I think that's the kind of exactly Morpheus. I think that's the problem with a lot of players is they don't want to be in the town that they're in or the city that they're in. And a lot of players that come to the Knicks, they're just coming for a paycheck. which is fine. I understand that, but it means more. It's more sentimental when you have someone who wants to be there. My dad tells me stories. He was born and raised in Brooklyn, Sheepshead Bay. So yeah, he's got lots of stories about it. He used to DJ and shit down there. Yeah, he's got a lot of fun stories. Yeah, God of War. I'm a fan of God of War. I don't talk about it as much. I used to love the original style of God of War when it was, super action and like Kratos alpha male. The newer stuff, the father-son dynamic is cool. Yeah, I agree, Legend. I think Ainge was trying to fleece, and he had no I don't think he ever really had an intention of trading to the Knicks. And if he did, he wanted to fuck him over to just see how much he could get. Game that needs to be revived the most. We're all over the place on this live stream. That's what I like, though. Game that needs to be revived. I told this girl that I'm talking to now. She's like she's like a pharmacist and stuff. Like she's like on that adult grind shit. And she's like, I date all these guys. It never works out. I was like, here's the problem, babe. You're dating men. You're dating these grown ass men. What you need is a grown ass man child. Okay? I don't care about if it ain't video games, pro wrestling, New York Knicks, or a fast car. I don't care about it. Oh, coming to vacuum. So she liked that, surprisingly. Yeah, my dad lived in Sheepshead Bay. And then he moved away. He had to go to North Carolina because things were kind of hot. And no, she don't give a fuck about games. She's just happy that I'm not a fucking regular person, I guess. His mom moved to Monticello, Catskills, and I remember going to visit her there. So weird. Yeah, it's a vacuum. Hold on, it's almost over. It's cool. It's like a portable one. I think it's just because, like, I grew up with wrestling, and like, I think the thing that, like, you know who DM'd me yesterday on Twitter? The Iron Sheik. The Iron Sheik's manager DM'd me on Twitter yesterday. He's like, hey, this is I forget his name. He's like, I wanted to connect with you on something. I'm like, what? The Iron fucking Sheik? So like, it's just super cool to me. Yeah, Caps, it's weird, man. I guess a lot of people, they find, passions in like walking through the woods and like drinking craft beers and stuff. That ain't me. That ain't me. Dewan, what's up, buddy? Oh, good, dude. I'm glad you're out of the hospital. That's great to hear. I know you told me last time we talked you were going to the hospital. Make you humble. I want to do the line, but I'm waiting for her to stop vacuuming. Yeah. Put him in the camel clutch, break his back, then fuck his asshole. But I didn't do it for God, Jesus, and Vince McMahon. Yeah, Enrique, like, when you grew up, like, the mentality was like, oh, you gotta... It's funny because they always classify things as like a midlife crisis. Your midlife crisis, you start to revert back to things that you wanted to do in your childhood or things that you did in your childhood. I remember when my dad went through his midlife crisis, all of a sudden he bought a fucking turntable again, and my mom was like sending me pictures. She's like, he's DJing again. I'm like, why? She's like, I guess this is a midlife crisis. But you never really go through a midlife crisis if you always just, fuck with the shit that you like. Somebody might not understand it. That's cool. That's on them. I don't understand your life, but that's you. Live your life. Leave me alone. Let me live my life, and everyone's happy. Doing good, Dewan. Hope you're doing good too, buddy. I would love... Yeah, Randy. Like, I don't know. Like, people are like, oh, why don't you try to talk to chicks that are like heavy into video games and heavy into pro wrestling? And it's like, I don't want to share. Like, it's my thing. I asked her, I was like, yo, if I want to go to a Knicks game, you gonna go with me? She was like, Yeah, I guess. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, you don't have to enjoy it. I just want someone to go with me. She's like, okay, I'll go. Do what makes you happy. What if gaping is your midlife crisis? That's a good question. I think you just embrace it. Yeah, you don't want to date yourself. Remember that episode of Seinfeld where Jerry was dating the female version of him and she got the haircut and he looked just like him? Do I think Spider-Man might consider Switch, yes or no? It would be cool to have Spider-Man on the Switch, but the thing of it is that Spider-Man technically isn't 100% tied up with Sony, but there's issues with it. Like Spider-Man was in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 for the Switch. But Marvel was essentially shopping the single player Spider-Man games because they used to be like multi-platform stuff, like Spider-Man 2 on the GameCube. Mwah, banger. But you know, along the way, they actually pitched it to Microsoft. And Microsoft was like, no, we're not interested. So Sony ended up getting those games. It would be cool, but I'm not going to hold my breath for it. Knicks will be fine. I think the Knicks will be fine. I'm not super worried about it. Am I happy I didn't have to end up doing Balan? I got you, Legend. I mean, I might still do it. I'm thinking about maybe a Christmas special. Just to do it for shits and giggles. Because, like, I won. So I don't necessarily care. That's all that matters to me. Which one do you want me to retweet? I think I see it. I got you. So the Earth is obviously flat. Obviously flat. Says, hey, I want Westbrook because we're gonna fucking drop his contract. Sasha and Naomi returning along with Bray. I've heard that Braun Strowman is coming back now too. I think they will come back though, because they weren't mad necessarily at the company. They weren't mad at WWE. They're mad at Vince McMahon. Hopefully it's at the next Direct, Titus. Did I have a cable box or a hot box? So it depends. There were times where we had a hot box. Definitely. There were times where we fucking steal people's cable. There's times when we didn't have cable. But eventually we did get a normal cable box. Do I think we'll get a Simpsons or NBA Jam remaster on any platforms? Simpsons, yeah. Tables, ladders, or fuck, I'm reading different things. NBA Jam is tougher because I think you'd have to do a new version of it because of the player licensing. You all set? All right, thank you so much. All right, I guess they're done. Damn, they were pretty quick this time. We'll run till 4:30. Just FYI, because I gotta look and see how they did. Yeah, NBA Jam, I think you'd have to do a new edition, but it's stupid that they haven't done one. Am I sad that Tables, Ladders, and Sean didn't work out? No, because I killed it. It could have worked out, but I killed it because I didn't want to take another passion of mine, and make it work related. Like, I didn't want to sit there and watch a wrestling show and then jot down notes like I do watching a PlayStation presentation or a Nintendo Direct or something. And it quickly started becoming work, and it was like, I don't want two of my passions to become work. One is good enough. But I mean, I can always talk, like, I'll make a wrestling video on this channel if I want to. I don't care. This video is just whatever the fuck I want. Or this channel is whatever the fuck I want. Yep, Spider-Man. There was a couple Spider-Man games. There was Spider-Man Separation Anxiety. There was on the Super Nintendo. There was Maximum Carnage on the Super Nintendo. That's a classic. Am I getting Madden? Asks the Shady J Show. I don't know. I'm not buying it now. Yeah, and there's so much wrestling stuff. There's so many people that do it well. And it's like, I don't know if I want to do that. And Bret Hart was the catalyst for the Attitude Era. Frustrated isn't a goddamn word for this. This is bullshit. Like, that was the fucking greatest promo he ever cut. The East is stacked, bro. The East is stacked. Eminem's cool. I like his older stuff. Tech Nine, I'm not a super huge fan of him, but I do like his work. Brett or Shawn, I'm a Shawn Michaels guy, but I love them both. But Brett wasn't cute, and you didn't know he was sexy. You didn't know the looks would drive girls wild. But he was a bigger piece of shit than Brett was. Any thoughts? I mean, Brett, it's just tough because the thing about it is they had two unique styles, and although they worked very well together, Shawn Michaels kind of stole from people like Jerry Lynn, Sabu, 123 Kid, and to a lesser extent Rob Van Dam with some of his moves and stuff, and he kind of made it more of a popularized thing. So I thought that was cool. But you could watch a Brett match. You could watch any Brett match and be entertained. One was a wrestler, one was a performer. Perfect Excelsior. Just no charisma. He had charisma when he was talking shit about the United States and fucking. I remember the Patriot Del Wilkes came in. Kill him out with the dono. N64 GoldenEye Legendary. Hope Switch drops it soon. I don't know what's going on with that game, man. Like it clearly exists. Clearly, there's no question. There's no debate that the game exists. Everyone knows the game exists because the achievements, you could see people getting achievements for this game. The question is, where is it? I like UGK. Yeah, Russian-Ukraine conflict. But at what point are you just like, all right, all right. Like, you got to do it with Advance Wars, too. At some point, you just got to be like, all right. Put a little disclaimer. This is fictional. Call of Duty ain't delaying itself. I mean, it's a fucking literal war. I don't know. I understand it, but at the same time, I kind of don't. 123 Kid was awesome. I loved 123 Kid. Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, awesome. When is the AEW game coming out? They say fall. And if it wasn't going to come out in 2022, they would say winter. Because winter you can extend until 2023 and be like, it's winter 2022, which actually is the first 2 months of the year as well. But with when you say fall 2022, that's fall. That's this year. It could be up until, I think November is the cutoff for it being fall. I believe November is when winter starts. So really, there's not a whole hell of a lot of time. I need to ask around. Ask some of the homies and the homettes. Jamie Hayter. God. I told Jamie Hayter dead ass because she like fucked with my stuff and like I found out about it. And so we started talking on Twitter. I was like, look, Jamie, I don't know what your dating status is right now, but I do know that you're here on a green card. All right. Let's say that for whatever reason, AEW doesn't. Okay, so cool. So we got plenty of time. Let's say that AEW, for whatever reason, doesn't want to re-sign you. I will be the green card marriage as long as one time. Just give me one time. And I'll be good enough. Which wrestling corporation has the most trans female wrestlers? I would say GCW, the indie company. Because they had like Effie's Big Gay Brunch, which is Effie, who's like an openly gay wrestler. And the whole show is just like gay and transgender, LGBTQ 2A, whatever. It's just all people of that orientation. And it's put on by GCW. Yeah, Street Fighter 6 looks fucking dope. I can't wait for that game. I'm so happy. Because they're not going to fuck it up like they did 5. Did I ever try the WWF No Mercy mods? A long time ago, there was someone who used to download Project 64 on his computer. And he would, it was during the revival of ECW. So 2006. And he would simulate his own matches with a current WWF No Mercy mod as of 2006 and commentate them. That man was me. Those videos are long gone. I don't even remember the fucking channel name. But yeah. It was I used to commentate the games. I would simulate the matches and commentate the games. So yes, I'm very familiar with all the No Mercy mods. I don't know, it was just fun. I probably should have stuck with it. I probably could have caught on. Do I think Nintendo could buy Platinum Games? I think they should, because I believe that Platinum is up for sale. They obviously need some help financially. Obviously, Tencent does own a portion of them because they do fund them, but I think I could get a portion of them. I mean, they work closely with them with games like Astral Chain and Bayonetta, and the top tier of Platinum does really well. So, did I have a future as a wrestling commentator? Actually, the guy Ian Riccaboni, who does ROH, we used to be on the same wrestling forum. Hey RGT, love your vids, from the Uncharted Wolf with a lovely donation. I've been wanting tips on how to make more room for my games as my cabinet is out of room. How hard is it to install new shelves? So, I am a jackass when it comes to a lot of things. You've seen Labo and stuff like that. Building a shelf is like beyond me. Like, I can't do it. So, I came up with the idea of, I bought 2 new shelves when I moved in, and I brought one from my old place with me that I ended up fucking up anyways. And I went on TaskRabbit, and for like $60, some dude came to my house. He was like, all right. I was like, in the basement, there's 2 bookshelves. Please assemble them. He was like, all right. So he came out. He assembled the bookshelves. A couple hours later, he came up, and he was like, all right, I'm done. And I went down here, and the bookshelves were done perfectly. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I was like, I was watching the Knicks. I was watching a Knicks game. I was like, do you like the Knicks? And he was like, what? I was like, do you like the Knicks? And he was like, yeah. I was like, all right, sit down on the couch. We're going to watch some. He's like, all right, I got a few minutes. But yeah, like, IKEA has a bunch of good stuff. I got to talk to CP about it. CP told me he wants to get me on the show. So I'll have to follow up with him on that. Wrestling Empire is fun. I was playing the fucking 2D versions of the game back on the computer back in the day. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, Platinum Games is going to get bought by someone. If it needs to get bought by someone, if they need money that bad, I think the best idea would be Nintendo, because I think they can get the most out of them. They get in the backyard. Fuck yeah, dude. So we had the Michael Shawn Federation, which is myself and Pecker Dupree, because Pecker Dupree got a trampoline for Christmas one year. And oh, dude, we got our wrestling promotion now. And we wrote MSF, because it was the Michael Shawn Federation, in the center of the trampoline, and we used to book matches, and we did some crazy fucking shit, dude. We went to a construction yard and found, like, you know how they wrap around stuff on a construction yard out of kind of like chicken wire, but it's a little bit stronger. We went one night and just stole all of it, and we built a steel cage around the trampoline, and we're like, all right, we're gonna have a steel cage match. We did the steel cage match, and we both, like, went through the cage and, like, fell onto the ground. We did a ladder match once where we had a bat up in a tree that was hanging over the trampoline. We went up there, and I don't know what. Oh, the ladder gave. It was like a piece of shit ladder, and I went up there, and the ladder gave way, and I fell on, like, my head, and I, like, blacked out for a second, and then I, like, came to. We would film him. I'm sure he doesn't have those videos anymore, but his dad had a camcorder, and we would film the matches, and we would have, like, all the kids from, like, around the neighborhood would come over to his house, because we would book them for the shows, and we would have, like, the WWF CDs and, like, shit like that, because, like, on the PlayStation 1, you could put some games, you could use the disc, put the disc into a CD player and listen to the music on it. So we would have, like, a little CD player for, like, the entrance music and stuff. It was fucking hilarious. It was fucking hilarious. They could, Morpheus. Who's a person I'd want to back you up in a fight on the Spawncast? Yeah, it'd be John. Because if John had to get involved in something, in a fight that I had, it would have to be serious. You know what I'm saying? So You too, the Uncharted Wolf. Thank you for coming by and hanging out, dude. It was so much fun, man. It was so much fun, backyard wrestling. Like, don't try this at home. Like, fuck you. People get hurt all the time. I remember this girl down the street named Ashley used to have a trampoline, and her trampoline had a balcony over it. So sometimes we would do matches there, and we would jump off the balcony. And one time I jumped off the balcony onto the trampoline, and the velocity, you know, throws you back up. And you know how on the trampoline there's like the little areas on the side where like the springs are? And so like it meets in the middle and there's like a hole like all around the sides of it. My foot got stuck in it when I came down, and like I just whipped over and like smacked my head on the ground. Like, I've had a lot of concussions. Undiagnosed. That's the thing. My mom would never take me to the hospital. If it was backyard wrestling or skateboarding, my mom would never take me to the hospital. She'd be like, you have to deal with it. I broke my nose skateboarding. Got to deal with it. I had black under my eyes. I was like, I'm going to tell kids that you hit me. She's like, fine. Nobody's going to believe you. Nintendo doesn't like buying companies, Dwan. I think that's sort of the problem. Yeah, we didn't have money for a hospital visit. I mean, if it was something serious, not related to wrestling or skateboarding, she would take me. But no, wrestling or skateboarding, I was like, nope, you did it to yourself. Nintendo just doesn't like to buy a lot of companies. That's kind of their you know, I don't think it's a problem now, but I think in the future it could become one. Oh, that sucks, Steez. My move was a power bomb, and Pecker's was a choke slam. Oh no, the Viper that son of a fucking bitch. Fuck him. He had this thing called the Viper Deathlock. Now that I think about it, and it was you would be laying on the ground like this way. So here are your legs, and he would grab your legs and then pull back. So like your calves were just ripping, and he would put that shit on hard as fuck. I'll never forget that now that I thought about it. The fucking Viper Deathlock. And that was what he called it. And it hurt so bad. And I would get so fucking mad at him. I would get so mad at him. I never picked up Frogun. Does it suck? I watched, oh dude, we had lots of shoot fights too. Joe was this kid who was newer to the neighborhood. And he had a really good look. And plus, he wasn't a white dude, so he made our company diverse, so we loved it. But Joe, one time, he poked me in the eye. And I was like, Joe, don't poke me in the fucking eye again. That shit hurt. He's like, what'd you say, bitch? Bah! And he poked me in the eye. I remember I was on top of him, like, trying to do something. And he just poked me in the eye again. We just went off. And, like, we just started swinging on each other, and everyone had to come in. It fucked up the tape. Made the tape bad. But, yeah, we were cool after that. You could yeah, you could probably send it back, Steez. That's right, today is Friday. God damn, Brandon. I'll see you then, broski. All right, we're probably going to wrap this up because I need to go make sure the maids didn't steal anything. I will tell you a funny story before I go. The first time the maids came to clean, I had all my games, my Game Gear games out, because I had just gotten some new stuff and I was trying it with the Analog Pocket, and I could not find the games after they left. And I was like, what the fuck do I do here? So like, I couldn't find the games. And then I sat down on the couch, and for some reason they put them behind a couch cushion. Cause like the couch, I have an L couch, and in the corner of the L was my games in the bag. And I was like, why would you put them there? Sucks. That's the worst thing about cleaning. That's why I don't clean, because it sucks. Because then you don't know where the fuck anything is. All right. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I will be back tomorrow night after the Spawn cast for some shenanigans. Shout outs to everyone in the chat for coming by and hanging out with me. Huge shout outs to everyone who was kind enough to donate, kind enough to become a member. I love you guys. You help sponsor this stream. And yeah, I'll catch you guys Saturday night. Make sure you check out the videos on the main channel if you haven't already yet. Some good bangers on there, and I'm hitting stuff over. All right.